G'day, g'day. This is European Hidden Gem Stocks, where I deep dive small and fast growing companies that are flying under the radar. And today I've got quite a good one for you. This is a stock I discovered a few weeks ago, and yeah, let's get into it. The company is called Envipco Holding NV. Envipco. Try saying that 10 times in a row. The company, if I haven't put you to sleep already, it's about recycling, and their motto is making recycling easier. But before you scoff at me and go, oh, it's a recycling company, oh, I don't want to invest in that, have a look at the chart. It's almost up, 1,000% in 5 years, a 10 bagger. So if you can't get interested in a potential 10 bagger over 5 years, then yeah, you shouldn't really be a retail investor like me. But anyway, let's dig into the company. I'll go through what they do, how do they make money, why do I like it, and my overall rating. So let's go. So Envipco Holding NV, the ticker symbol is ENVI on the Amsterdam Stock Exchange. They do have a secondary listing on the Oslo Euronext exchange, but I've been using the Euronext Amsterdam because it's plenty of liquidity, and that's their primary listing. The market cap is small. It's only 434 million, or about $500 million in US. It's trading at a PE of around 67 and a forward PE of 51 right now. It used to be a bit lower, but don't be scared off by this because they only recently turned profitable, so they're still growing into their multiple right now. So don't freak out, please, about the valuation. Price to sales is about 3.8. I put that in there just to give you a bit of perspective for the valuation side of things. They were founded in 1982, so they've been around quite a while. That's a good sign. They have about 483 employees. It's not a company where they can run really lean because they have to do a lot of maintenance and servicing for the products that they sell, which is a good thing. So it's a money maker. So yeah, I'll get into what they do, how they do business, and all that in a sec. Inside ownership is quite high. This is something that I look for management to have, or for leadership to have a stake in the company. Therefore, they got skin in the game. They're aligned with shareholder interests, that sort of thing. Institutional ownership is it's low-ish. It's not incredibly high. Some companies, they're up to 60-70% institutional ownership, especially when they get added to a growth index like the MSCI World Small Cap or something like that. So there's a lot of room to run in terms of institutional ownership if they do keep buying the stock. Analyst coverage is low. There's only a handful of analysts covering this in Yahoo Finance. I don't think this is even possible to see on Seeking Alpha, so there's not much information out there that people can access about the company. Do I own shares in the company? Hell yes. I bought this would have been a few months ago now, and yeah, no regrets. I'm a big fan. But this is all about me. This is all my opinion. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy this stock. I'm just telling you I own shares in the company, and yeah, full disclosure. Get down to what they do. They do reverse vending machines. Reverse vending machines. So you put cans and bottles, containers in the machine, and it spits money out. Otherwise, a normal vending machine, you put money in the machine, it gives you a can of Coke or a chocolate or whatever. But it's the opposite. It's the reverse vending machine. Step one, you insert your empty bottles, containers, like the people in the photo here. You walk up to the machine, put your bottles and containers in, it sorts them out, it identifies them, it scans them, it calculates how much money you're going to get back from the deposit system, and you scan a QR code, and you get an instant refund. How good is that? Getting money for depositing your garbage into a machine. I love it. So reverse vending machines are a super simple product to understand. It's easy to get. I've seen them myself. How do they make money? They sell these reverse vending machines to companies like grocery chains, city councils, and they have these located outside the shopping centres. So before, while you're doing your shopping, you can return the containers and then go keep shopping, return your beer bottles and then keep shopping. So it's just conveniently located to have these machines outside shopping centres. Their financials are pretty good. That most of the money they make is from revenue from sales and installation of the machines. So previous year, 2023, this is from the annual report, they had 54 million of sales in 2023. Fast forward next year, in Europe, 74 million in sales. So they're growing quite rapidly in Europe, and I'll explain why on the next slide. They do have operations in North America, but because America doesn't really have a deposit return system in place that's regulated, that mandates people that they can get money back from the deposit of bottles, cans, that sort of thing. It's not really popular yet. It's not taken off yet. There is a deposit return system somewhere in California and other states, but it's not all across the US. But yeah, that's one of the drawbacks. So North America revenues are largely flat, but Europe is where the growth is. That's where a lot of my concentration is on research for the company. They also make money from service and maintenance for machines. They do have crews that go out and handle materials, maintain things to make sure they're working smoothly, because there's nothing worse than downtime when you're at a supermarket, taking your stuff there, expecting for the machine to work like an ATM, and it doesn't. It's so annoying. So they do have service and maintenance costs associated with it, and that's a good little money earner for them too. Point number one. The product that they sell is faster, easier, and better than the traditional way of doing things. So the traditional way of doing things is you arrive at a supermarket in Europe with your container full of bottles or cans, or your crate full of empty beer bottles. You have to show up to the store and wait for someone to help you to count them to give you the refund. Now that waiting can take anywhere from 5, 10, 15 minutes, depending on how busy it is. If it's end of the day, at rush hour, people are hurrying around trying to do their shopping. Nobody wants to help you in a supermarket, so it's sometimes it's a bit of a hassle to try and find someone to help you. And I've experienced this firsthand. It's frustrating. It's a pain point for customers. I'd much rather to have a bag full of empty beer bottles or a crate full of beer bottles, take them to a machine, feed them into the machine myself, scan a QR code, get a refund, done in 5 minutes. It's so simple. And if they do this, it also saves businesses money, because you're not tying up you're not tying up an employee that could be processing someone's groceries, and they could be actually making more money for the business rather than helping someone deposit bottles that make about a few euros over 10-15 minutes. There is regulations in place to that act as a tailwind for the company. The deposit return system is legislated in EU by the end of 2029. So that means of all of the places where you can deposit bottles, you should be able to get a refund across EU countries by 2029. So this is a massive driver for revenues for sales of the units. And the last thing I'll talk about is just the way it's presented. It's a Peter Lynch stock. If you were to come across this as a retail investor, you would probably not even look at it or think about it for like 5 or 10 minutes. It's small, it's dull, and it's boring. But if anyone from Envipco is watching this, please don't take this as a criticism. I actually love what you do and love the stock. I mean, have a look at it. It's almost been a 10 bagger in 5 years' time. So I want to capitalize on this. If I understand a business that's doing something small, dull, and boring, that piques my interest, because the prices of the stock will move more on the fundamentals rather than on hype. So you see often with a lot of the quantum computing names, all of the latest biotech names, they move on sentiment rather than fundamentals. This is moving on fundamentals because they're growing fast, and the stock is moving accordingly. So that's why I like it. So the future growth story, let's get our crystal ball out. The future growth story is all about Europe, in my opinion. The chart on the top right shows where they've been. So 2018, 2019, 2020, not much happening. Boom, deposit return system second wave. So this is a regulation coming through to EU in 2029. Instant adoption started in 2022, and European expansion continued then on. So in 2025, they're expecting more growth in places like Portugal and Poland, and in this graph down here on the bottom, they're expecting more growth in countries like Turkey, France, Spain, the list goes on. So it's easy to visualize and understand where the growth will come from. So if you're not sure about why you're invested in a stock, this is one of the key questions I ask myself. If I'm worried about a stock, where is the growth going to come from? And here you can easily see their sales are going to increase year after year throughout Europe. US, on the other hand, that is not really something to think about. US operations are quite limited. They don't have deposit return systems in place. That could change in 3 or 4 years' time when there's a new administration and they're very pro recycling. But it's not really a problem that they have to solve yet, and there's not very a big culture of recycling in United States anyway. Whereas in Europe, it's everywhere, and it's a cultural norm to recycle your stuff. They also have a growth segment potentially called B2B. This means dealing direct with large-scale facilities. Like I'm thinking like amusement parks. I'm thinking universities and that and the like. Large places where a lot of people gather, like festivals, and having a deposit return system in place. Rather than everyone throwing their junk on the ground, which usually happens at festivals and stuff, is much better. It's a great outcome for the people that run these places, and it's a great outcome for the customers because they get instant cash by scanning a QR code from their smartphone into their account. Super simple. In the future, what's stopping them from moving to like emerging markets? So like places in Asia, places where there's massive pollution problems already. So you've seen those horrific images of like places in Southeast Asia where their rivers are chockers, just full of plastic and cans. What's stopping them rolling out operations there? So that's something I would like to see happen, but yeah, I'm not sure if it will. We'll guess we'll find out. So I'll give it away. I give the company 8 hidden gems out of 10. I really like this company. It's super simple to understand. I get what they do. I can actually see their products when I go to a supermarket and I see the problems that they solve for customers and the benefits they provide for businesses. So that's why I'm bullish on the stock. But as always, so this wasn't financial advice. Please don't take this as a green light to go buy the stock and make a lot of money and then blame me when things go wrong. Please don't do that. Always conduct your own research and consult with a financial advisor before making your decisions. I'm just sharing my experience and why I like the company. As I said, I do own shares in the company, and I think it's got a great future. If you're interested in reading more about the stuff that I produce, please have a look at my Substack. I post free deep dives on European hidden gems on my Substack, and I'd love for you to join me, comment on what I'm doing, come and give me feedback on how things are going. I would love to hear from you. So please scan this QR code, get access to my Substack, have a read of the other deep dives that I'm doing, and also hit me up on Patreon as well. There's a link here to join my Patreon group, so please do that. And thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.